Alright guys, welcome to another video from XF Motorsports. Today we have an Audi RS3 in the shop. The person wants us to make a few functional aero mods for him. We're going to be making pretty much a flat floor for it. We're going to be starting off with the rear diffuser that is going to carry on up until pretty much like the middle of the floor. And after that, we're going to be making a front splitter on it as well. So yeah, the person already has a few aero mods on it. He has a GT3 rear wing on it, which he says is the only car with an actual GT3 rear wing from an Audi RS3 GT3. He's actually had to replace the whole trunk lid and go with the trunk lid from a GT3 race car to actually bolt this rear wing on, so that's pretty cool. There's a few other mods on it, but yeah, let's actually start off by quickly showing you guys the car and then get into, well, doing all the work on it. So starting off by showing you guys the car, the good thing about this Audi RS3 is that it actually does get used on the racetrack. The person does take it on track days, and now he of course wants to make it even faster. He has some mods on it already. He has an exhaust on it, which is rather loud when you start it. Maybe later on, once everything is done, I'll start it and show you guys how it sounds. He has these really cool Forge Line wheels on it and carbon ceramic brakes at the front. Also, it is on lowering springs and sway bars. So having a look underneath the car, the floor of the car actually, well, the middle part of the floor is already pretty well done. They have these plastic panels which are fairly flat and wouldn't disturb the airflow too much, even though the middle section is open, but that's where the exhaust is. And after that, they have done nothing at all. Like, all this part is literally open, which is not too good for airflow. And then after that, when you go to the back, they've just added a fake diffuser over here that if you've ever done CFD results, you would obviously know that a diffuser like this would do nothing at all, because it has like a sharp edge. It's literally blocked off, so airflow wouldn't even stay attached to it. The airflow would probably just go straight on like this. Now our goal is to actually make a functional diffuser for this car, and well, the person doesn't want us to do too much like cutting and modification on the car. He wants us to kind of just work around the things that are already there, so we can make like a simple bolt-on diffuser. And then showing you guys the other problem, the front of the car. The front of the car, by the way, for if you want to make a ground effect car, a car that actually makes downforce on the underside, the front splitter, I would say, is the most important part, because that's where the airflow starts. So if you give the airflow a good start, if it stays attached from the front, well, then if all the other stuff is right, it will stay attached all the way like till the rear diffuser, and the whole underside of the car will make downforce. So starting off by making the rear diffuser, for making this one, we're going to be using carbon fiber. We're going to be using a similar construction as to what I used for making the bodywork on this car. Carbon fiber on both sides and then a foam core in the middle, which of course gives a really lightweight result. It's the same way that all motorsports body panels are usually made, but making it is going to be a bit of a challenge, because first, well, I've started off by doing a CAD design and measuring things up and trying to form things around that. But then later I realized that CAD design, like for something like this, isn't going to work too well, because there's a lot of stuff to clear, like the exhaust, the control arm, some of the bolting points. And so now the way I'm planning to do it is that I cut the core cell roughly in the same shape that the floor is and how the diffuser needs to be. After this, I will be applying, well, I will be putting this core cell up against the floor, and I will be basically making the final contours so that it clears everything and it's the right shape, so that it can, well, stick as close to everything as possible, so that it's up high and the shape is right. And then after that, I will well, be adding carbon fiber to it and basically making it well, the proper diffuser. So yeah, let's get to work on it right away and see how long it takes to get everything done, really. So after a lot of well, cutting and sanding and shaping this foam in the right shape. Now it's finally looking pretty good. It fits the car really well, and the whole profile of the diffuser looks really nice. So hopefully it's going to be a really nice functional diffuser at this point. But next I need to actually add the carbon fiber to actually, well, finish the whole thing. So for applying that, I will unfortunately have to work on the floor right underneath the car because, well, the shop is pretty full right now, so it's not like I have too much other space in the shop, and even the upstairs section is pretty full. So yeah, for applying the carbon fiber, what I'll do is I'll start by applying 2 layers on the top, and after that I will have to wait 24 hours for that to cure. And even after it cures, the whole thing should be pretty flexible. So after that, what I'll do is I'll actually take this whole thing and I will actually tack it to the car in its final shape, and then apply the other layers at the bottom. So once there's carbon fiber on both sides and once that cures, then the diffuser will take that final shape and it will not flex around anymore. So after 24 hours, now the carbon fiber has cured on one side, and now the, well, diffuser is kind of, well, still flimsy. I can still shape it, but it's hard on one side. So next is, well, the difficult part. I need to apply carbon fiber on the other side, and then I need to put it against the car so that it cures in its final shape that it has to be, so that it has that curved shape, so that it's like, well, it's proper and it fits with the car properly. So to do that, it's going to be a little difficult. Well, I can't do it upside down because if I try to do it that way, all the resin is going to drip down, and it's also going to be really difficult to stick the carbon fiber. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to flip the diffuser over. I will, well, first sand it and make that shape proper because that's the more important side. It has to look better. And then after that, I will apply the carbon fiber. But before the carbon fiber cures and hardens, I'm going to put it against the car, glue it in all the places where it needs to stick really close to the bodywork so it's the proper shape. That's why I've taped all these things over here so I can glue it and I don't leave marks on the actual panels of the car. And then I'm gonna have to leave it there for 24 hours, and after that it's gonna take the final shape and it's gonna be a really good fit with the car then. So now that everything with the diffuser is kind of coming along, next it's time to start work on the front splitter. And for the splitter, what we have to do is, well, the person has this front lip right now, which well, looks cool from the top, but when you look at it underneath, it's literally, well, not even finished. It's just an open thing from here, and That's not good because, well, a splitter is supposed to, well, the underside of the splitter is more important than the top because the underside works in ground effect, and it's also really important for ground effect because the splitter is the first part the air hits when it's like entering underneath the car. The air that basically hits the splitter is the air that carries all the way down the car to the rear diffuser. So if you leave sharp edges like this, and if you make the air lose velocity, it will most likely make the diffuser stall, and then the air wouldn't stay attached to the diffuser and it wouldn't make downforce. So basically the goal of the splitter is to have a nice smooth shape and a curved leading edge, not a sharp leading edge, so that it tends to keep the airflow stay attached underneath the car. Basically it sends cleaner air moving underneath the car so that the air moves at higher velocity, stays attached to the surface, and hopefully stays attached all the way till the diffuser. So then it basically works like the underside of a wing, and it creates downforce then, and it creates even more efficient downforce than a wing because it works in ground effect. It's really close to the road surface. So yeah, that's the plan for the splitter. What we need to do is we're gonna try to like preserve the same look of this factory lip, but we're gonna try to, well, make it functional. Here's a look at the diffuser after the final layer of carbon fiber is applied, and I've already sanded all the rough edges down a little, but next I need to apply 2 more layers of epoxy on it, and then I need to sand those down so that everything just becomes smooth and shiny, like well, so that it just looks nicer really. And here's a look at the splitter. Meanwhile, the splitter is also taking shape, and yeah, this one too, I have to, well, first of all I have to cut a hole in there for the cooling of the differential, just like that engine cover had, and then I need to, well, also finish up this carbon fiber. It's the same process as that one, just sand it down, put epoxy on it so that it all just looks nicer, but it's turning out pretty well. The whole diffuser, well, splitter is really light actually. I can lift it up pretty easily. I think well, I'll wait after once it's done. And so yeah, let's do these last finishing steps, and then let's get to mounting these on the car. So here's a look at the front splitter after it's mounted on the Audi. Apologize I didn't record these finishing steps too well because, well, I was working on this atrocity of a car. It's an S2000. Usually S2000s are amazing cars, but this specific one well, it pretty much needs an entire engine rebuild. So, well, first, yeah, let's get back to the Audi so we can get this out of the shop first. Yeah, here's a look at the front splitter after it's mounted. So from the top, it's not going to be a big difference because it's all blended in with the front lip, so you're not even going to be able to tell much. But now functionally it's going to be a lot better because the front edge is nicely curved like it should be, so airflow is going to stay attached underneath the car all the way till the back. Hopefully it's going to send some fast moving air now all the way till the back diffuser. For mounting the splitter, it's just the same factory bolts that I've used, 3 bolts at the back and then 4 bolts that I've added at the front, so it's super easy to install and remove. Also this little cooling duct for the differential, same as what the factory engine cover had, so all that is pretty good. It's going to be really easy to install and remove, and it's pretty strong too actually, so hopefully it can take a few hits before it will get damaged or something. So yeah, that's all done. Next, let's get back to the rear diffuser, which is going to be a little more difficult to mount because unlike the front, there's no mounting points at the back because the car of course never really came with the diffuser at the back. I've made a few of these mounting brackets using some of the existing bolts at the back so that yeah, the diffuser can be secured here, but there's still a few more that I have to add, and then let's get on to, well, mounting the diffuser and seeing how everything lines up with the car. So here's a final look underneath the car after the diffuser and everything is in place. So pretty much a flat floor now, other than the center part of, well, the exhaust and everything, but this is still going to be pretty good. So yeah, everything underneath the car is pretty much like a straight line now. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Next we just got to lower the car, start it up, hope that there's no rattling noises and everything, but it seems pretty okay. So I'm hoping everything is going to be fine, and that's going to be it for everything. So after that, sure enough, everything went okay. There were no noises or anything when we started up the car. I did have to add a fiberglass exhaust wrap over the exhaust just so that the carbon fiber doesn't catch fire because of the heat of the exhaust or something. And here were a few pictures of the finished result. So it ended up looking pretty cool. I kept the finishing on the carbon fiber to a minimum, only on the places where you would actually see it, because, well, the finishing does add quite a lot of weight, and the person did want to keep everything as light as possible because it is a track car after all, and if you're adding weight to it because of aerodynamic parts, it kind of defeats the purpose of those. So that was everything for the Audi RS3. That has now left the shop with a fairly happy customer, and what has also left the shop is all the pileup of broken engines and all these parts lying around. So I've gotten rid of all of those. Now the shop is looking a lot cleaner than what it was before, so we have a lot more space to now actually work on the stuff we should have been working on, like this car, which I broke the serpentine belt on the last track day. And now, while I'm at it, while I have the lift for it, I want to take some time to actually pull the engine apart a little bit, make a dry sump for it because it was starving on oil last time. So I really want to do things properly on the engine and then tune it for higher power. We're aiming for 700 wheel horsepower with this one, which is going to be insane for this car because the car only weighs 950 kilograms, and this one of course also has a flat floor all the way till the diffuser. So this one, well, this one does make quite a significant amount of downforce when you drive it. You definitely feel it, and now when we finish up all the rest of the body work for it too, hopefully the downforce level is only going to go higher. And also, well, this car, which was an R107, we were putting a C63 engine into it. Well, we have put the C63 engine into it, and the transmission, and, well, the drive shaft and everything, but we were still on the steering wheel for this one. There's a bunch of work we have to do to get that done, so hopefully when we make some significant progress on this one, you're gonna see a video from this one. Also, this project, the 500 SCC, in which we're putting a V12 engine into with 2 massive turbos, and yeah, it's still waiting for some of the turbo work to get done so that we can, well, take the engine out of the car once more, put it on an engine dyno, tune it to its final power. We're aiming for 900 horsepower with this one. So this is a really cool project too that I can't wait to make some more progress on. And also, well, all the other stuff, the blown Honda S2000 engine that we need to rebuild. This is still waiting for parts. So yeah, if you guys want to stay tuned with all these projects, definitely hit the subscribe button, notification bell if you want to get notified the next time someone blows his engine. So yeah, that's going to be everything for now. Thanks a lot for watching. See you guys in the next one.